It took me a long time to understand the system and how the system works. It's not difficult to understand, but I was brought up in a culture where I was taught to believe that everyone was equal. And that's a giant mistake because when you start to believe that everyone is equal, then you believe that everyone has the same abilities to do things. And that's not true. And it's not true because there's something called IQ or intelligence. And this can actually be very well measured. And it's a sad fact that there are areas where people are intelligent and areas where people are not intelligent. And in areas where people are not so intelligent, things don't work, they don't work well, and they don't work properly. And this is visible wherever there is crime. Because there's a very old saying in English, which doesn't make a lot of sense until you think about it a bit more, but it's crime doesn't pay. And what that means is crime doesn't pay in the long term. And you see this with criminal activity, right? Most criminals are not criminals for long periods of time because they're either in jail or they're dead or they have to change their lifestyle because it's not sustainable. Because if you start stealing from people, then people will automatically think it's okay to steal from you. And you can't live that way. You just can't live that way. It's not sustainable. Because you can't develop any trust in that situation. So this idea that everyone is equal is a giant mistake because people have different skills, they have different abilities, they have different ideas, they have different levels of creativity, they have different physical skills and attributes, and they have different mental skills and attributes. And it has, as far as I'm aware, scientifically been proven that certain groups of Jewish people are the most intelligent. Whereas if you take Central African tribes, they're not so smart with their habits. They don't know that the Earth is a giant spinning sphere going around the sun. they just don't know these things. And when you start to understand that there are intelligent ways to do things and less intelligent ways to do things, and this cannot be changed beyond the age of 12 years old. So people are in general fixed in their mental abilities from the age of 12. And that's why, for example, the Hory-Horonia region of Slovakia is the way that it is. It is populated with less intelligent people. I don't say good or bad, I just say less intelligent people who have certain skills which are very important traditionally. But we can't live today like we lived 100 years ago because we need to improve the quality of things. So we can't do that. And people in certain areas want to live the same way that they lived 100 years ago, and that's not good. And intelligent people, because of the structure of our society, there is what's called the brain drain. And drain is when you take energy from something, yeah? And the brain drain is when the intelligent people leave. So they leave the small towns and the villages, and they go to study at the universities, they get the qualifications, they go to the city, they get their job in the city, and then maybe they go to another country.
Yeah.
And these are natural steps for intelligent people. But what happens is you leave behind all of the lesser intelligent people who mix with the less intelligent people. And that creates a constant of less intelligent culture. And that's in general why in the modern world it's actually better to live in cities and towns than it is to live in the country. Because in general, the IQ and intelligence of people in cities and towns is higher than it is in the country. And that's just because there are more people. And where you have more people, you have a higher probability of meeting more intelligent people, because intelligent people are a smaller part of every community. It's like 10 to 20%. 8 out of 10 people don't really understand what's happening. So you've got 10 to 20% who do. And there's a higher probability of meeting these people if you mix socially in larger population areas, which is why it's good to go to cities if you're young and have experiences there. And it's a problem for a place like Slovakia, where all the intelligent students that I have taught, all the young intelligent students, they're not here, right? They learned something and then they left. They went to, a lot of them, have gone to Germany or some to Brussels to work for the European Union. And if they go away, what are you left with here? So it's a hard realization that things are not equal in terms of intelligence. It's better for some people to do some things. That means that to take control and make decisions than other people, because not everybody has the intelligence to make the right decisions. And I don't agree with that, but that's the way it is. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. I realize that that's the way the world works. So it's hard to realize that there are, for example, like the average IQ, for example, the average IQ in the United States, I think, is around 100, right? The average IQ in Mexico, 70 to 80, right? So if more Mexicans move into the United States, the IQ level drops, which makes things more complicated for people rather than less complicated, because if you're surrounded by less intelligent people, your life gets more difficult. So I don't know if those average IQ numbers are exactly right, but that's basically how it works, right? And there are cultures and countries of the world where, like, what is it, like Venezuela? Why does Venezuela have problems? Well, the average IQ is maybe around 70, yeah? And that's why everyone thinks socialism and...
It's good for manual work.
Well, no, it's not. That's the point. It's not even good for manual work. It's not, because these people, it's better to have robots. Because robots don't tell lies. Robots don't do the opposite of what you ask them to do. Yeah, they don't need cigarette breaks. They don't complain. They don't form unions to fight against the companies. Unions. Yeah, they don't form unions. They don't create Facebook groups, right? So it's not even good for manual labor, because more intelligent people will do manual labor more effectively than less intelligent people. How many videos on YouTube are there of workers digging a hole and putting the dirt over there, and then somebody else taking the dirt and putting the dirt back in the hole? You can see videos on YouTube. Yeah. Of this, yes. You can see videos. Yeah, the group of workers dig a hole and they put the dirt somewhere, and somebody else comes and picks up the dirt and puts the dirt back in the hole. Yeah, or there's other ones where they've got bricks for building, and like one group of workers is moving the bricks over there, and the other group of workers is taking the bricks from the other side and moving them back to the first place again. So everyone's busy, right? Yeah. But no one's actually doing anything. So it's a problem because there's this idea we're all equal, and that's the worst thing to teach everybody. It's visible everywhere that we're not. You know, look at have a class of, as a teacher, have a class of students and ask them to write something. Every piece of writing is different. If people don't copy and paste things off the internet, right? Every piece is different, so everybody is different.